Most third-party controllers suck. They feel cheap, don't last long, and usually end up in a drawer. But this one is £65 on Amazon, and it actually has a real chance of keeping up with the big names. And at that price, I had to see if it was the real deal. Once I started using it, it didn't feel like your usual third-party pad. The buttons are sharp, the paddles actually work without delay, and it even has turbo and macros, features you almost never see at this price. So on paper, it sounds stacked, but what really matters is how it holds up in actual gameplay, and that's when things got a bit interesting. When I first picked it up, it didn't feel like a cheap knockoff. The shell feels solid and the grip has enough texture to it to where I can play for long hours without my controller getting slippy. The sticks use TMR sensors which are designed to last and stay precise. Most third-party controllers don't register micro movements. However, every adjustment on this controller feels absolutely sharp and not floaty like other third-party controllers. The overall design is cool too. No pointless flash, no gimmicks, just a pad that feels like it belongs to a real gamer's setup. And honestly, that was a surprise. It feels less like a budget backup and more like something I would use on a daily basis, which had me wondering, if it feels so solid in the hand, could it actually keep up with my gaming addiction? As soon as I started playing, it just felt right. Quick reaction, smooth aim, and no wait delays. Over the dongle connection method, it stayed smooth even over longer gaming sessions. The Bluetooth was pretty solid too, no random disconnects in the slightest. And because the battery life was so solid, I never needed to worry about my gaming sessions getting cut short. A micro issue did occur when I tried to use it while charging. However, the response rate kind of slowed down just enough for me to notice, not major, but enough for me to just leave it to the side and let it charge. But once I was confident it could handle my heavy gaming, I kind of wanted to push the limits. And that meant mapping. You get 4 extra buttons on this controller, M1 through to M4, and you can map it to whatever you want. The smart part is that they don't take away from the original button, they just add another way to press it, meaning you can map a paddle as jump and still press the original jump button as well, which is definitely unique and something that's not typical with controllers like this. It also makes longer sessions easier because the way the extra buttons are placed, I don't need to stretch my fingers all over my controller just to pull out my mini-map. And that's just the paddles. There's a whole load of other extras you don't expect for £65. You get swappable thumbsticks, you can tune the feel of, as well as turbo and macro options built in. Perfect if you want rapid fire or preset combos without the extra software. And it's fully cross-platform as well. I've used it on Switch, PC, and even mobile, all with the same controller. But all these fancy features are only useful if the setup is smooth. And that's where I experienced the biggest issue. The Blitz 2 does have software for fine-tuning and remapping, but in my case it was buggy, slow to load, and I even tried updating it and still features didn't work. So now whenever I need to map a new key, I just need to do it manually. The good part is that it does save profiles on board, so once you're done messing around, you don't really have to go back. The mechanical buttons have a nice crisp click to it that really gives it that gamer vibe. And the same with the triggers, it has a nice click to it and it doesn't pull too much to where it only feels mushy. It has a quick trigger, meaning it's perfect for shooting and drifting games. At the end of the day, it's not flawless. The software gave me issues. It doesn't have a dock, so it doesn't feel like it has a home, and it's missing some of the fancy RGB some higher end pads have. But none of those issues actually stopped me from using this controller. So who is it actually for then? So here's where I've landed. The Blitz 2 isn't trying to be an elite or pro controller. And to be honest, for £65, it doesn't need to be. Since you're getting a solid build, 4 functional additional buttons, a long battery, and reliable performance. It is missing the polish these fancier and more expensive controllers have, but not everyone necessarily needs all of that in the first place. So in conclusion, I would actually recommend it, but it is definitely a close tie between these two controllers. So you should definitely check those out. Anyway, it's been your boy Mr. K. Like, subscribe, support the channel, and I'll check you in the next one.